One thing that I do fishing, it's going to sound a little strange, maybe, I don't know, but especially in cold water conditions and tough conditions, where I'm fishing a slow bait like this, is I'm trying to visualize a bass looking at that bait. Like right now, I'm thinking, okay, there's a bass that's caught his attention. He swims over to it, now he's looking at it. Trying to play that out in my mind for real, that there's a fish here, and he's undecided. Here's a whole lot of stuff in fishing that's mental. Or at least I think if you want to be a good fisherman, you better be taking some things mental. Taking it to a different level, different approach, different things in your head. I want to talk for a minute here about visualization. Visualization. Picturing things that are happening that you can't see. Is that too deep? It could be shallow. It could be any depth of water. Be right back. This is D.W. Verts. You're watching Hickbilly Fishing. And it's kind of hard to do every cast, but if you play a game with it, make it kind of a fantasy thing. I'm big in doing it flipping too. I flip a bait in, I picture there's a fish right there on that brush pile, he's right there. I drop the bait right in front of him, pick it up, he's gonna bite it, and it's amazing how many times that works. It keeps you in contact with the bait better, and it keeps you on your toes, so that you're not as surprised as often, because getting surprised fishing is not a good thing. Getting surprised fishing means lost fish and missed strikes. Oh crap. Oh man, talk about not paying no attention. Wow, that one got me. Son of a bug. Okay, visualization. What does that mean? I try to approach everything fishing, whether it's deep water, shallow water, cover, bluff, bank, whatever. I try to approach it looking how those fish will be positioned. Where are they holding at? Are they suspended? Are they on the bottom? Are they underneath stuff? Are they on the edges of stuff? And which way they facing compared to where I'm throwing a bait. It probably gets to be a little bit too much for some people. But the next thing is then, okay, I said boat dock. I love fishing docks. And you go up to the dock and there's 3 or 4 bass in this dock. You're picturing them in your head. Say it's 8 foot deep. They're all in the bottom round brush. And they're all facing out towards the front of the dock. That'd be kind of the perfect thing. Whatever, maybe. So I put the bait back into that dock. I pitch it, flip it, throw it, whatever, back in that dock, let it go to the bottom. I'm going to fish it back through this stuff. This brush pile where these fish are at. And I try to think what is happening as that bait's approaching where a fish may be. And truthfully, it's from the time the bait hits the water first thing. What this has done for me over the years, I think sometimes it's made me make fish bite that maybe didn't want to bite. It makes me more prepared for when they do bite. I'm more ready. Because if I'm picturing a fish sitting there, and I'm picturing my bait coming along like this, and I'm picturing him going over to it, him biting it shouldn't be a surprise. And trust me, being surprised fishing is not a good thing. It can be kind of fun, but when you get surprised, you don't catch as many bass. You just don't catch as many fish, period. They're going to get the best of you. I can prove that sometimes this year with videos. Oh, crap. So visualization. Now, another thing that worked with the visualization, well, watch this. This shows what I'm talking about. Well, that was a bite. I don't know what that was. It just went thump and nothing was there. So I'm going to kind of leave it alone and jiggle it and not move it very much and think maybe he took a peck at it and it's going to come back. I'm just going to shake it, not hardly move it at all, and then get him. See, that's that visualization thing I was talking about a while ago. See that? That's how it works. He hit it, didn't get enough of it. I played with it, pictured him sitting there looking at it again, and that is what that visualization thing is all about. Okay, there you go. I had a bite, did not get the fish. But in my puny little brain, I'm picturing this bass sitting there, and he's already bit this bait once. He's right there. I know he's giving himself up. I know where he's at. And I picture him looking at my bait. I picture him. He had some interest. I didn't get him, but he's still there. I pictured in my puny little head that bass approaching that bait or following that bait, and I do that little shaking thing and finally made him bite. Pretty simple. I can't say that works every time, but it works a lot. I won a tournament once, years and years back. It was a weird deal. It was late in the day. I had 4 keepers in the boat, not major fish, but I had 4 keepers. But it had been hours since I got bit. And I was flipping a jig on the dock, and I remember there was a brush pile at the back corner, but I didn't throw the brush pile. I worked my way into it. I went to the middle of the dock, pretty shallow water, 3 or 4 foot. I remember when I flipped that jig in next to that dock, I let it fall vertical, flipping, very important. The vertical fall of the bait, and I remember thinking that bass on the edge of that brush pile, he's now come over and look at that bait. He's looking at it. Now, most people pick it up and start fishing it back in. I picked it up and dropped it. I'm thinking that bass now come to that brush. I pictured a 3-pound bass had come out of that brush pile 1 foot away, 2 foot away, and he's watching my bait. And I shook it, and I gave it a little pop and caught a 3.5-pound bass. Whatever. Would I caught him anyway? Maybe. Would I caught him by throwing that brush pile? Maybe. But I made that fish bite. In my head, I made that bass commit to that bait, and I won that tournament. I needed all 5 of them fish. Kind of a magic moment. That was in the 80s. So being able to visualize, first off, where the fish are at in the cover or in the water or suspended or wherever they're at, picturing that, so when your bait is coming to where you think the fish are, which you never really know, but it helps to be mentally prepared for that. You can also start changing your speed, your cadence, and you can massage that fish. You can coerce him. You can make him do things you want. I'll guarantee you can do this. And it's better on the days when fishing's kind of tough. High sky, post cold front, whatever. It's definitely better in cold water. So, does that mean, well, you can make every cast, just twitch it, wiggle it, fish it slow? Yes, you can. But doing that in your head, playing a little game with yourself, if there's a bass looking at my lure, it's a game. It's a mental game. If you could do that and try to make a habit of it, you can't do it every cast. Years and years ago, trap shooting. I was a semi-decent trap shooter, and a guy told me a very important lesson in life. He said, you cannot concentrate all the time. He said, the human brain cannot concentrate all the time. The point was, trap shooting, you only had to concentrate for a couple seconds. The rest of the time, your brain, you do whatever you want to do. Fishing on a long cast, it's hard to concentrate all that time. It's hard to be on top of the game. That's why some of the guys are better than others. Some guys are better at that thing than I will ever be, of course. But if you can learn to visualize where that high profit area, that high, the area where the fish most likely will be in relation to cover, whatever, I think it'll help a bunch. I know it'll help a bunch. It's just something to try, something to talk about on a nasty, cold, blustery, blizzard conditions, winter day, and trying to think of content for this channel. If you like what I'm talking about, guys, if it works for you, let me know. I hope it does. This channel is slow growing, I get that. I'm just trying to come up with some content stuff that makes sense to folks. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe. If you don't. Pretty simple. I got some more ideas on this, but getting mental in bass fishing is something that can help anybody. Visualization and trying to picture what fish are doing will help you a bunch, I promise. I'm Dale Verts. God bless you guys. We'll talk at you later.